keeping promises to yourself is one of the skills, one of the pillars of self-confidence, self-trust, self-love, self-efficacy, and whatever. It's a skill of disciplined person, of a man. If you break your own promise, right, you're not going even to trust yourself. So if you don't trust yourself, how can you say that I'm going to become rich and actually going to become rich? For example, if you say I have this goal and you can't even trust yourself in doing small things first. For example, you said you're going to wake up at 9 and you cannot wake up at 9, you hit snooze for 10 times. How are you going, you're saying you're going to become rich, how are you going to do that if you can't even do such a thing as wake up at 9 in the morning? And let's look at the example. You were talking with your friend and you told him that you gotta show up at 5 a.m. to my house. He showed up at 6. Your trust to him is a bit hurt. Next time you tell him to bring something that you want to bring with him, he did not. Your trust is broken again. And with each this try, your trust to him for him is broken. And the same is with us. It's even worse if you break your own trust, because you are the one to blame. You are the one who is responsible for your life, for trusting yourself in whatever you do. So if you can't even keep promises in small tasks, in small stuff, how are you going to promise everybody or promise yourself that you're going to achieve greatness if you said that you're going to go to the gym tomorrow and you didn't? How are you going to say that I'm going to be rich and genuinely believe it that you're going to be, or genuinely do something to be it, if you can't even trust your own word in such a small task? And that was me, that was actually me. It was me the whole life. I was always talking, I couldn't keep the promises I made to myself, and I feel like it really changed my self-confidence and my confidence. It really did something to me that I feel a bit weak in that point, that I always say I'm going to do this, and maybe one time I do, the other time I do not, because my promises that I say to myself are too high, that you need to be a Superman to do them. And I decided to change that, because I feel like it's one of the pillars to success. It's one of the skills, it's one of the character traits that you need to have in order for you to succeed, to keep the promises you make to yourself. So you gotta start with small ones. You gotta trust yourself with small stuff, that you trust your own word. It's going to really improve your self-worth, self-acceptance, and self-love, if you may say self-love, or that's really what I'm going to teach myself to do. If I said that I'm going to wake up at 9, that's what I gotta do. I gotta wake up at 9. If I said that I'm going to go to the gym today, it means I gotta do it. There will be no doubt of mine that I'm not going to do. There will be no negotiating about that I said it, because I always did. I said, and it's like my word to myself didn't even matter. So when I promised other people stuff, I usually didn't do it, and that's a trait of a really weak man, as I realized it. It's a trait of a I would say it's state of a weak man to promise something and then don't do it. And I'm ashamed of myself for being that way. I'm ashamed of myself for doing that. I'm ashamed that I was this way. Probably my whole life. If I'm being honest, probably my whole life it was the way. I was always promising and didn't do it. It was some form of, I don't know, some form of lies that I always had. And I'm ready to change it because I feel like I can change it. And we're going to do it for sure. From today, I'm going to start making promises to myself, and I'm actually gonna make them become reality. I'm actually going to do them. If I said to myself that I'm going to do something, it means I'm going to do it. If I said I'm going to wake up at 9, I'm going to wake up at 9. If I said I'm going to gym today, that means I'm going to gym. If I said I'm going to make 5 widths today, it means I'm going to make the 5 widths. There will be no negotiating to what I said yesterday, previously, or whatever I wanted to do. There will be no such a thing. There will be no mercy in that stuff, because I feel like it's really the quality of character that I need to have in order for me to go somewhere, to be someone. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to install new thinking patterns in my head, new character trait in my personality, for me to be better, because I feel like it's really one of the most important aspects, one of the most important skills or virtue you can have for you to actually go and be successful, to keep promises to yourself, and to do whatever you said, so you can build your self-trust, self-love, self-confidence, and the people actually going to trust you, and you're going to trust yourself first and foremost. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to change it, we're going to make it better, and I keep my promises from now on to myself, especially. I keep the promises I make, because that's one of the skills I have to have, and I have it already. I installed in my mind, so I keep the promises to myself. That means I'm going to do it. And if you want to actually get somewhere, you should learn about it, because I learned it with fail and trial. I swear I learned it with fail and trial. So if you understand, just listen from now on. Just me telling you this, it's going to be much easier for you than it was for me to learn it, because I learned it with all the hard work. And I wish you good luck in whatever you're doing, and don't break the promises, because you break your bollocks at the same time. You break your bollocks disappears. That's what it does. When you break the promises you are making to yourself, your bollocks disappear. Small little tiny part each time you do it just disappears. So that was it for now, and yeah, keep the promises you make to yourself.